What's up, Central Illinois business owners? We know that insurance and employee benefits are one of the most expensive, confusing, and frustrating hurdles that you face in your business today. Garrett and I work with Central Illinois businesses to create insurance and risk management programs and employee benefit solutions that reduce risk, enhance your business, and maximize your profitability. Head to CIBLinsurance.com to learn more about insurance solutions that are specifically designed for your Central Illinois businesses and to watch our educational videos about work comp, employee health insurance, commercial insurance, and other insurance products to help your business go to the next level. Go to CIBLinsurance.com. We'll see you there.
Welcome to the Central Illinois Business Leaders Podcast, where business owners, thought leaders, and community champions from across Central Illinois come to share their story. The Central Illinois Business Leaders Podcast. Anything less would be uncivilized.
What's up, Central Illinois? I'm Derek Hayden. I'm here with Garrett Omer. We are your hosts for the Central Illinois Business Leaders Podcast, powered by Zambu. Zambu is a delicious grapefruit or wildberry vodka-based spirit infused with a Brazilian buzz button. It's smooth, tasty, and leaves you with a signature tingle. Learn more at ZambuLiquors.com. Zambu, taste the tingle. Before we hop into the show today, I have a few more announcements. Make sure you check out CIBLmerch.com. We got some new merch available. We got hats, shirts, I don't know what else, coffee mugs, a bunch of stuff y'all need to check out, okay? And all that was set up by one of our sponsors, Jedco Sales, out of Effingham, Illinois. Jedco has the ability to set up your own online store for your business. So if you want to sell merch or give away merch to your employees, your fans, your customers, whatever it happens to be, Jedco will set that online store up for you, and all you have to do is send the link to those people, and Jedco handles all the order fulfillment for you. So check out jedcosales.com to learn more about setting up your merch store, and check out CIBLmerch.com to buy some of our podcast merch. It'd look good, you know, for a nice Christmas present for your favorite people out there. So without further ado, ladies and gents of Central Illinois, please welcome the founder of MattSheehanOfficial.com, hailing from Peoria, Illinois. Welcome, Matt Sheehan. How you doing, Matt?
I'm good. It's good to be on with you both. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Pleasure to have you on, man. So we were talking a little bit before we hit record about some of the cool things you do. But before we actually give you the mic, Matt, to tell us your story, I'm going to hand it over to Garrett to take you through our speed round questions.
Well, you know, typically sometimes, Derek, before we get guys to jump on, guys or gals, I guess I should say, you know, they act like they're nervous and scared. He's hosted. He's got his own media stuff going on. He's been a news anchor on the news. So I don't think this guy's scared of us at all today. So
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
You guys look like nice guys anyway. So you know, all love.
Appreciate that. That's
hey,
kind. We've been called a lot worse for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So tell us about the first concert that you ever attended.
First concert was 6th grade for me. It was called Rock the River. It was in St. Louis, Missouri, and it was basically a Christian concert festival. The big headliner was Lecrae, if you've ever heard of Lecrae. And I showed up late to said concert, and I missed Lecrae. So there's that. And that's like the whole reason I was there. I've loved rap music since I was like 4 or 5 years old. And so I was like, I got to see Lecrae. But I did see Skillet was there. Pretty good name. And a couple other ones that at the time they were pretty big. But I missed Lecrae, but it's all good.
There you go.
That's great.
Tell us about your favorite movie.
That's a good one because I'm a big movie fanatic. Did a lot of interviews with different actors and stuff during my time in TV, which we could talk about later if needed. But I think the one I always go back to is The Revenant with Leonardo DiCaprio. That movie, man, just cinematography wise is just stunning. And it makes me want to go to Alberta, Canada, because it's just in the snowy mountains and that's where it was filmed, a lot of it. And so it's a really good movie. I'd recommend anybody watch it. It's a little deeper, darker. It's not like funny or anything, but it's awesome. So
nice. Very nice.
Your favorite ice cream flavor?
I am a classic chocolate chip cookie dough guy, but a little twist on that. It's Bluebell crazy cookie dough with a K. Crazy with a K. And
Check it out.
they mostly only sell it in southern states, but you can find it in western Missouri. So Higginsville, Missouri, it's where my grandparents lived and my dad
Okay.
grew up. And so we'd always go to the spot and get that. And it's still there to this day. I found it at a place there a couple months ago when I took my wife. So
Nice. Are you an iPhone or Android guy?
iPhone all the way.
There you go. Your favorite social media platform?
I gotta go with Facebook. You can even say Meta, so I can kind of throw Instagram in there. But Facebook for me has been good, and I've found the most engagement with people and fans, if you want to call them, on my official page.
Gotcha.
So Facebook.
Okay.
Nice.
And last but not least, why Central Illinois?
Well, my work brought me here
Okay.
over 5 years ago, and I haven't left. So I love it. I think the people are great. I like the Central Illinois sunsets over the cornfields. I got a cornfield in my backyard here where we're living here in Peoria.
Nice.
It's big enough, but it's also small enough where everything is 10 to 15 minutes away.
Sure.
So yeah, can't complain. I'm from St. Louis originally, so it's like going from that where I literally drove 45 minutes every morning to high school.
Yeah. That's
driving
wild.
10 minutes to work. Like,
Yeah.
I always get a crack out of people saying that, because how many people are in Peoria?
about 100,000, they say,
Yeah.
in the city itself.
Big enough and small enough. And then Derek and I are from a town that what's on our sign?
4,700 is on the
Yeah, I was
sign.
gonna say it's under 5,000. So we have a cornfield around the whole town. So
There you go.
Sometimes I get irritated of my 7-minute drive to work, and then anytime I drive, well, I was actually in Peoria about a month ago, at the Civic Center for a convention, and I get so lost driving in any town. Like, so the funny part is, I think parking was free that day, and I still stopped. The sign was up, or the barrier was up, and I still stopped to pay for my parking. And I was so like worried about getting into the parking lot that I was like, I got parked. I'm like, no one else is stopping at that gate to pay $10. So I donated $10 to the Civic Center for my parking spot. So
the question is were there cars lined up and middle fingers being flown?
No one was honking at me. So, I lived through it. Made it back to Shelbyville. Awesome, Matt. Well, appreciate you sharing those. You breezed through pretty easy on our difficult questions.
Yeah.
At this point, Matt, we're giving you the microphone. Tell us your story. Take us back as far as you'd like. Bring us up to speed with what you got going on today.
Yeah, thanks so much. So I started my career post-college. I'm a Missouri State University graduate in Springfield, Missouri. Came right here to Peoria, started my job 2 weeks after I graduated, being a TV news reporter at the time. So at the time, I was a multimedia journalist, which is where you shoot and edit all your own stuff, and then you report on it on camera. And so that's how I kind of got my start in the biz. About 6 months in, went to just full-time reporter where I had a photographer with me. And then about 6 months later from that, became the weekend anchor at WMBD in Peoria, Illinois. And then about a year after that, they promoted me to morning anchor. So kind of quick up the ladder there at Peoria. Was there for 5 years. My wife and I, we met a couple years ago, got married. We just celebrated our 2nd anniversary last month.
Congrats.
Thank you very much. And we have a son. He just turned 1 in September.
Awesome.
And so during that period of time when he was born and my wife was pregnant, I was on the morning show. So I was waking up at 2:30 in the morning, going to work at 3:30. And then there was a time that there's short staffing was a thing. And so I was actually going in at midnight, producing the shows and then anchoring the shows while they were looking to hire people, and it just never happened. And so eventually I came to a point where I said, man, this ain't for me. Doing this with a newborn, I got to do something new. And kind of a job opportunity fell in my lap from a good colleague of mine that I knew for a couple of years in the TV business. And he said, hey, here's this link to apply for a job at OSF Healthcare for a media relations coordinator. And so I said, all right. I'll do it. So I applied,
Cool.
got hired there in February, left TV news, which was a tough decision, but the right decision for sure. 100%.
Awesome. Very cool.
Literally a week after I started my job at OSF, I got a phone call from an old friend of mine too, back that I knew in TV business. He works at Bradley in the athletics department. And he said, "Hey man, we're trying to get a little extra help here at Peoria City Soccer, which is a semi-pro team in Peoria." And he's like, "You've got communications background, social media stuff. Would you want to help at all doing this?" And I said, "Absolutely. Bring me on. I don't care, what you pay me or what you don't pay me. Like, I love soccer. I played it growing up till I was in high school and intramurals in college." And I said, "Let's do it. Let's just go." And so I signed on for that. And so I was doing that before hours and after hours of my OSF job. And then he called me again about like a month later. I was like, "Hey, you know what? I kind of don't have time to do this summer. So I'm just going to hand you the keys and you just do what you want." So I went from communications manager for Peoria City to director of communications. And I just the world was my oyster, you know what I mean? And so I just went to town, doing sponsorship stuff, social media, media on TV, radio, print, all that good stuff. And that was just a joy this summer. It's kind of like a summer league.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did
Cool.
that. And all the while I do a travel blog. So you mentioned my website, mattsheehanofficial.com. So I do a winery kind of tour, mostly in Illinois. We're starting to bridge out and go out of state to different states. And then I did like a barbecue tour for a while, trying different restaurants, barbecue ribs, because I love ribs. I actually have a barbecue rib tour set up for this Friday here in Peoria at one of the well-known establishments. And along with that, I do travel articles. And so I partner with lodges, hotels, whatever kind of works. And we just kind of make content happen. So we can do photos, video, obviously writing is great. And we just put that all together and we call it cross-pollination. Everything just kind of pollinates and we make it work. So that's a little background into me.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah, you've got some unique stuff going on, Matt. And when you first told me you're a news anchor, I was like, wow, this guy should be probably, doing the podcast for us, because your experience, Garrett and I just make up what we do. We have no clue what we're doing. We just ask questions. So very cool background, Matt. I'll start on the blog, your travel blog, because I'm very interested in learning about that as a business. So is this a revenue generator for you as well, Matt?
So what I've done, because I started in 2022, like early on in the year, and I was doing everything like pro bono. So nobody was paying me anything. I wanted to utilize it as hopefully what would be a moneymaker for the local business. So I started small. Cool. I started local here in Central Illinois. My first wine blog was in Washington, and my friends at Trace Rojas, who I've known for a while. And then, barbecue, again, it started right here in the Peoria area. And so I didn't really need, at the time, I was like, I don't really need the money from this. This is fun. Sure. I like to eat. I like to drink wine. Let's just make some magic. And that's what we did. And so it started there. And then you always have to know, like at the beginning, just what the expectations are.
Sure.
So if I'm going to put you out by you serving me up barbecue ribs, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to pay for mine. I'm going to tip you. And I always like to kind of do that stuff anyway, whether or not they say, hey, we'll give you a full meal for free. Like we like to kind of help them out a little bit there too. But sometimes they'll say, no, we're giving you this for free. You're getting a wine tasting for free. And it's like, okay, I can't tell you no. I come from a background where it's like, if you're going to offer me something and you're being hospitable, I'm going to honor that. And I'm not going to be like, no, we're not going to do that. And so that's kind of the background there. We've gotten to a point where we've kind of gone a little bit bigger and increased like what we're doing. Cool. And so, for example, one of my recent blogs, I went up to the Chicago area to the Illinois Beach Hotel. And so you got to think about that. It's a 3.5-hour drive. That's a hotel stay. There's food involved and all this stuff. And so we were able to make a trade deal of sorts is what I'm getting at. And so you get to a point where you start doing trade deals of we'll give you your stay for free. We'll give you meals here, but your travel, that's on you. And so it's like, you just have to come to agreement if that works for me, if that works for you type of thing.
Cool.
We are getting to the point of, creating a media kit to show people, what we have to offer, and do companies pay for the content, and how do you work that in? So we are kind of bridging that gap, and we're getting to that point. But as of right now, for a lot of what I do, it's just pro bono, it's just for fun.
Very
and
cool.
trade
Very
deals
cool.
for sure.
Yeah.
Now, is
That's
this something that establishments are reaching out to you, or you're reaching out to them?
A mix of both. So the one that I have on Friday, he's kind of a buddy of mine anyway for the last couple of years, but he just texted me a couple of weeks ago and he said, "Hey man, are you still doing that barbecue rib blog?" And I was like, "Sure, I'll do that blog as long as I live, man. I eat ribs all the time." So I said, "Yeah, do you want to, partner up on it?" He said, "Oh yeah, come on in Friday at 5 this week in November and we'll make it happen." So, when it comes to the wine stuff, I feel like I've had to be more proactive in that and say, "Hey, this is what I'm doing. Are you even interested?" And 90% of the time, the answer is yes. It's just, depending, how are you interested? How are we going to make it work? And is it worth it for everybody? Because some people, they're like, "I don't really like media attention."
Sure.
But then they'll come around and say, "Well, if you're just doing an article or a Facebook post, okay." But some people, they're set, and they're like, "Man, I just got voted by this magazine that I'm the #1 pizza place in this town in Colorado, and like, I really appreciate it, but I don't really need it." And it's like, all right,
Yeah.
So that's going back to like setting those expectations at the very beginning of what you're looking for, what would help you, and what would help me as well.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. So as a blogger, how do you typically drive traffic to your blog? Again, sorry, it's just interesting business strategy that I've always wanted to learn about, like how it works. How do you drive traffic to your blog or to your social media to share these posts?
For the blog, at least, social media is a great key. So
Okay.
I'm able to take my article and I'm able to put it on my Facebook page that I've got about 3.6 or 7,000 followers on my Facebook page. So I'm able to post it there and say, "Look at what I did this weekend," right? And so you get traffic immediately that way. And some better than others. Like when it's these local barbecue tours, like people know the restaurant, or they've been wanting to try it. And so they're liking, they're commenting, they're sharing. And, we've reached on Facebook posts alone 50, 60, 70, 80,000 people. And then that traffic transcends into website views, into thousands of website views. And
Awesome.
so that's been a way, like, that's why you asked, social media, Facebook,
Yeah.
like that's
Sure.
huge.
That's great.
Instagram, it's a little harder because like Facebook, you can directly click my link and it takes you to
Right.
my website. Like Instagram, like if I made a post and I put the link to my website, like you can't click it. You can't
Yeah.
with your
Yep.
finger, you
Yep.
can't do that. You have to like share it to your story, and then you have to put a thing that says link, and then they can click that. And you don't
Sure.
get as much traffic that way. That's still a
Yeah.
tool to get you 5, 10, 20 people maybe clicking that and going, but it's not as strong. Also, utilizing social media, they'll let you put your link like in your bio. So always do
Okay.
that. I think that's important. Twitter used to be really strong for me, especially in the TV days. If I was covering a court case or something, I was live tweeting in the court case. If I was on a scene, I was tweeting, and the TV station would retweet, and so there was a lot of success there. Now, like, Twitter's just changed for me, where I don't enjoy it as much. There's a lot more
Sure.
like random crap that I see that I don't even follow or enjoy. And I'm like, so I will post it to Twitter and it'll reach a couple hundred or maybe 1,000 or some odd people. But that's about it,
Sure.
So
Sure.
social media is the key for sure.
Very cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What's up, Central Illinois? You know what you all need? Y'all need some CIBL podcast swag. And thanks to our newest sponsor, Jedco Sales, you can now find our swag at CIBLmerch.com. You can find t-shirts, sweatshirts, polos, hats, and more, all classically adorned with our famous CIBL podcast logo. If you want to represent and support your favorite podcast, check out CIBLmerch.com. That's CIBLmerch.com. If you like our store, you can also build your very own business swag store with the help of Jedco Sales in Effingham, Illinois. Jedco is owned by previous CIBL guests, Andrew and Laren Dial. They've set up a special discount offer for CIBL guests and listeners to set up your very own custom branded swag store. You can now offer branded apparel to your employees, customers, and fans, and Jedco will fulfill all the orders for you. Contact Jedco at sales@jedcosales.com. That's sales@JEDCO sales.com, and tell them that Garrett and Derek sent you. Let Jedco help you get noticed. Hey, Central Illinois professionals, do you know where people go to learn more about you? They typically either go to your About Us section of your website or your LinkedIn profile. And guess what the first impression is that they see? That's right, it is your professional headshot. Your headshot is part of your brand. Your brand should proudly show the world how passionate you are about delivering quality products and services to your customers. At Studio 21, you won't get the boring old headshots that everyone else has. When you get photos with Melissa Hardin at Studio 21, your headshots will show off your strength, confidence, and approachability. To book a professional headshot appointment for you and your team, call Melissa at 217-962-0048 or visit www.melissamharden.com. That's MELISSAMHARDEN.com. And let Melissa at Studio 21 help you stand out from the crowd. So I'm looking at your website. We mentioned it when we started, mattsheehanofficial.com. What platform do you use to build your website?
WordPress.com.
WordPress. Okay.
Which then there's like WordPress.org too. And
okay.
I'm not here to say WordPress.com is better. It is just, that's what I have a background in. So back a little bit in TV, we would use WordPress.com for our website there. And even in college, we would utilize WordPress. So that's just
perfect.
It was easy to me, and that's what I went with.
No, that's great. That's great. What has been your favorite area? Now, I know you can't choose favorites technically, but you mentioned a few places. Like, if I was going to go try a barbecue rib anywhere in this state or try a glass of wine anywhere in the state, what would your recommendations be to this point?
That's a great question. I really enjoyed Whitey's Barbecue. It was in Creve Coeur. So Whitey's had his own restaurant in East Peoria. It was in this, this little building in East Peoria, and COVID shut it down. So that shut down. So then Cruisins on Route 29 allowed Whitey's to serve their barbecue inside of Cruisins on Route 29 in Creve Coeur. And so it was a really good partnership with them. And I just remember having an amazing experience. Mike, who's Whitey, I think Mike White is his official name, but it goes by Whitey. Mike was a great host and treated us well. My wife loved it. I loved it. We got to try different foods. And so that was really, really good. You can't really go wrong, though. I mean, I've had the place I'm going Friday, I've been before, and I would argue it's one of the best barbecue places in Peoria. I just have never done a blog there. So I'm excited to finally do that. Wine wise, I think Illinois wine is pretty good, and I don't think that people talk about it a lot. I think we have all these different wine trails that are very unique and interesting. So I have obviously Tres Rojas is near me in Washington. Mackinac Valley is a very unique, cool property on nice on a nice lake. Looks good. I did Hidden Hills in Galesburg, which was really enjoyable, but I had a really great experience, and this is just recent, so that's why I'm bringing this up. It's Galena Cellars in Galena, Illinois. Just high quality wine. The atmosphere is nice, and I love Galena, so get up there for sure.
So are you taking your family with you when you go on these trips to taste the wine and barbecue, or is it a solo trip? Tell us a little bit about your process there.
Almost all the time, it's a family matter. And again, back to expectations, that's just what I tell them. Hey, I'm bringing my wife and my kid. And they always love that too. I mean, my wife's got a really good knack for social media and her own, profile on Facebook. And so we're able to kind of, again, it's back to that cross-pollination. She's able to share it to all her friends and people that follow her. And so there's kind of like an add-on bonus for it being a family. And then a lot of times I like before I post the link and the actual full article, I'll post just a photo of us, there, and people just love that stuff, man. They
Cool.
love the family aspect, and they love pictures of my kid. My kid's adorable, and so it's like that's another way too. It's like you can tag the business and just post a photo or two, and like get 300 or 400 likes and a couple shares and like 70 comments. It's like boom, you've already reached tens of thousands of people, and you haven't even. And then you're promoting your article that comes out Friday, right?
Yeah, that's
so
awesome.
that's another thing to utilize.
Yeah.
Now, how do you go about your selection process of finding either a winery or, barbecue ribs? How do you typically go about looking and finding these places?
First is just geography. What's nearby, what's local. So again, back when I started in 2022, it was all about let's support these local businesses. And so I knew that they were there. And frankly, I mostly knew about all these places because I was in the news. And so I knew just, I remember when Trace Rojas, I keep bringing them up, but when they opened, I showed up back when they were literally installing their signs, and I already knew the head winemaker, and I was in the area for something else. I said, let's go show up to this winery and maybe we'll do a story on this. And there he is, nailing the sign. And I said, hey, you want to do a quick interview with me about your winery coming soon? Sure. And so we literally shoot an interview in the, in the field there. And that's how you build relationships. And so, it's just stuff like that. And some of it is too just people would recommend, like for Whitey's. I had never heard of Whitey's, but when I started doing the barbecue blog, people were like, you gotta go to Whitey's. And so we made it happen.
There you go.
Yeah, that's so cool. Well, I want to shift a little bit to soccer. So you talked in your intro, your involvement in Peoria City Soccer. So it's kind of a summer league, semi-pro. Tell us a little bit about the league that they're in.
Yeah, so our league is USL League 2. So if you kind of have to put brackets on it, if Major League Soccer is the top of American soccer, number one, then you have USL Championship, USL League 1, and USL League 2. So we're kind of the fourth notch there, but we have great talent. They're mostly college kids. Some are graduating and they're trying to look for that next big thing. They want to go pro, but maybe they're not there yet. Or maybe they are there and they just haven't been seen. And so this is a great opportunity for them. So we bring in players from around the world. We had guys from Denmark, guys from Bulgaria, from Israel.
Cool.
We've had guys from Ireland, Germany, Mexico, all across South America, Canada. And they come here to Peoria and we show them the love that Peoria has to offer. And the soccer community here is strong. And the fans were awesome this year. I mean, the crowds, like if you just go to our social media and you listen to the videos that I shot all on my cell phone from the side of the field of the goals, and like when they score a goal, like the crowd just goes nuts and you can hear that. Whereas like I've watched all these other games that are like in higher leagues and like that stuff will happen and it's just like crickets. And so I don't know, we have a really awesome opportunity here. We are looking to go to that next level, hopefully pro in the next couple of years. We have to do a lot of things revenue wise and engagement wise to get there, but we are moving that forward. So
yeah, holy cow. I'm looking at your roster here and it is all over the country. Yeah, you got Denmark, Bulgaria, 2 people from England. Holy cow. Yeah, you guys are all Israel.
Yeah,
very cool. Well, I see something that piqued my interest and it's got your name on it. River City Brews.
Yes. I'm glad you asked.
There we
so
go.
this was an idea, and I got to give credit where credit's due. So when the team started in 2022, technically it was announced in 2020, but then COVID happened. So first season was 2022. They created something, and I wasn't involved in 2022, just to put that out there. They created something called the 5 Bars Initiative, and that was 5 bars and restaurants in Peoria, Illinois that partnered with the team, hosted events. I'm pretty sure they would stream like watch parties, stuff like that. And so as I got involved, I was also simultaneously, I'm technically a credentialed media member for St. Louis City SC, which is a major league soccer team in St. Louis, the newest team in MLS. And so I do video and photos on the field at their home games as well.
Cool.
And so I kind of recognized that St. Louis City started this thing called City on Tap. and it was all across the region. You didn't have to be St. Louis. It's all across. If you wanted to be a bar that aired the games, that sold the merch, that maybe if they had a beer would serve the beer, you could join this network. And I thought, maybe there's something we could do. And so I kind of was sitting there thinking, man, what are a couple names? I thought of River City Brews. So we went with that. Cool. And we got 10. So we went from year 1 at 5 to year 2 at 10. So we doubled that. And these are places, again, we'd give them all, a scarf to be a partner of ours. We'd hang up signage at our games. They would host events. They'd host watch parties. And that was an awesome opportunity to partner with people that love serving good food and good drinks.
That's very cool. So for your role with Peoria City, so I guess it's similar setup to what you do at OSF and for your blog. You're doing similar things. Tell us what's been fun about marketing the team on your behalf.
Yeah, I think the team itself, the players, and the game of soccer, it's made it easy to market. Soccer is growing so fast in America, which I love to see, because for so long, the United States has been looked at as a joke in the international soccer community. And so, I don't know about you all, but, I'm like, I don't like that. I want to be looked at as like top dogs.
Right.
And we're not there yet, but we're getting there. And hopefully we have some success with the U.S. national team, both on the men's and women's side. Obviously, the women's team is, best in the world almost every single year. Yeah. Not so much for the men's team, but, we're hoping to start getting to that place as well. So anyways, I mean, when it comes to just marketing a fun environment at a soccer game, tickets this year were $5 to get in. Cheap. That's like unbelievably cheap. Yeah. And then we would do group sales. So pretty much anything over 20 or 25 tickets would be $3 a person. If you wanted to bring a group of people, like that's just freaking unbelievable. Like you can't find that. And so you're marketing just a fun atmosphere. We had a tailgate outside. I brought in food trucks that were serving great food and drinks as well. We're hoping next year to have a mobile bar serving alcohol, maybe some Zambu.
There we go.
There you go.
But there's a local mobile beer truck that can do stuff off tap cans. They can make cocktails. So we're just always looking, how do we better the environment, for game day? And also, how do we support that through the week? So we're doing TV interviews in Peoria. We're doing radio interviews. We're in the newspaper. We're getting our highlights shown on, Friday and Saturday night. And so it's all, it's so much, it's like another full-time job. But it's so fun. So, when you're having fun, it doesn't feel like work. So,
yeah. Now, how long has the team been around Peoria then?
So they were technically announced in 2020, and that's when they were supposed to start. COVID hit. So season 1 was 2022 summer, and then we just wrapped up season 2 for us. So basic games go from like late May to mid-July. And then if you make the playoffs, you might see August. So 2022, we made the playoffs. This year we did not, unfortunately. So I feel like this year we had a great experience, game day experience. Our attendance jumped 63% from year 1, which was great. But we were a 500 team, and the problem with that was we had the number 1 team in the country in our division, Chicago City SC, and so they beat us twice. And then we had the Des Moines Menace, and for most people that are soccer aficionados, like, the Des Moines Menace, like they're a top 10 in the country team too. So right there, we got 3rd place behind those 2 teams. So that's kind of the hand that we were dealt. Yeah. But it is what it is.
That's very cool. Well, for any business owner that's listening, obviously marketing and media is your niche. That's what it's what you've done for a long time now. If there's a business owner listening who maybe that's not their strong suit and they want to know, what steps should I take? How do I start to get my business out there, whether it be social media through, like you said, newspapers or articles or blogs? Any recommendations that you would have for a business owner listening? It's like, man, I want to be on this guy's level. How do I start?
That's an awesome question. You guys ask good questions. I'm very impressed. No, I think I was listening to a couple of your episodes here last night, and there was some business coaches.
Okay.
And even to a guy, like me, I'm like, maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to call somebody up and just take 30 minutes of your day and just talk through things. And so it's going to be just kind of a daily thing of each day. What's one thing that I can improve on, or what's one thing I can learn about? So if social media really isn't your thing, Google is a great way to start learning and finding articles.
Yeah.
Also, it's back to that cross-pollination, right? Collaboration. Like, do you know somebody that they have a really good social media? Schedule a phone call with them, right? So that would be kind of my recommendation, is just do the work, but you have to talk to people.
Sure.
And so, I mean, if it's talking, messaging me and asking about something, like, my DMs are always open. I'm happy to talk. But it's kind of whatever your niche is and whatever you're trying to do, find somebody that's already doing that well, and then what's some advice they can give you.
Absolutely.
Perfect. So Matt, we are actually nearing the 30-minute mark. Before we jump off of here, is there any last ideas or strategies or business offerings that you have, I guess, that you want to share with our followers and listeners?
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned, people looking to maybe take their business to the next level. And so I'm hoping that very, very soon, my wife and I are going to start an LLC that is basically going to be a media marketing company, whether it's social media, video, photos, website.
Cool.
And so, again, I mentioned my DMs are always open. So, you can hit me up there. You can go to my website. There's an About Us page. I just started a newsletter kind of page where people can go and they can subscribe easily. And so my emails are always open. You can contact me there. So that's what I would recommend. Also, Peoria City, as we look to grow, we're looking for corporate sponsors to come on and sponsor us in a strong way to help benefit soccer here in Peoria and beyond, benefit the team, but also benefit your business. So that's always an option. Other than that, yeah, if you're a winery, if you're a brewery, if you're a restaurant, I'm always looking for people in that regard to just partner with and see, is it beneficial for you? Would it be beneficial for me? And we can work on basically just creating great content and expanding your brand. So
yeah, very cool.
Great.
Awesome. Well, for all you loyal listeners out there, make sure you're subscribing to the CIBL podcast on your favorite podcast platform. While you're there, leave us a quick review. You can also follow us on social media, mainly LinkedIn and Facebook. You can connect with Garrett and I there personally as well. Until next time, Matt, you've officially been civilized. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks so much.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Central Illinois Business Leaders Podcast. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/CIBL podcast. You can also follow us on LinkedIn. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. It's the civilized thing to do.